Hello, this is Karen, your cosmic messenger, and today I'm here to add just some information to what I heard from Matias De Stefano after he or during his video. I was already getting a lot of information from my guides, from Thoth. They're Thoth from time to time seems to use me to pass some information down. It's so funny. We're definitely connected, and it's just information that you can either embrace it, incorporate it, integrate it or not. It's just up to you. But here it is. Matias was talking about things that are missing. Uh, and he said that he got that a person had stolen something. And yes, those were the Anunnakis who actually messed with our DNA and dumped humanity, or the humanoid at that time that existed in this planet, the humanoid who had already been genetically modified since millennia by other cedar races. And that's what was stolen. And again, it's information that is my perspective given to me from my guides. I believe that we all hold a piece of the puzzle here. So hopefully we can all collaborate to get to understand all these enigmas facing the evolution of our planet, and most of all, the neurons of this planet, humanity. So also beyond the, he also mentioned the hills that needed healing. Well, the hills are mounts, right? And there are arcs at this time in these mounts, like Mount Fuji. There's arcs in many places. They're either underground or they're in mounts. There's also an arc, Matias, of course you must know, in Vostok, Antarctica. So maybe you have to awaken them. So in a sense, healing the hill would be an awakening, or healing the beings in a sense that they need to awaken from their stasis, because they were placed there when we had the floods, and other points in time. But it is a point where they are going to awaken when humanity is ready for that next step of our evolution, and it is time. So I'm sure you will be called to one of the arcs, and to help heal or awaken those beings in those arcs. So that's my understanding. I have much more, so I will now turn to my paper so you can follow with me a little more. Before I show you my downloads, I just wanted to say that I kept being interrupted nonstop by this image, and it was just my TV trying to tell me that I had to remove some apps, and I'm like so frustrated. It kept that I could continue watching YouTube, and this image kept popping back again, and then I realized, oh my God, what does it say here? It's exactly what I was receiving. The Trinity that needs to connect the moon, Luna, right? Luna with the earth. and the sun, and then eventually Mars. So it will be this whole triangulation. Oh my God. And I didn't realize, it took me so many times to like, sometimes you don't see things that are right in front of you. All right, so here's a paper I wrote. As everything was coming down, I was just like, oh, here, and then this connects to this and this and that. So let's start. Let's start with Thoth. Thoth's original name is Ishkai. It's known by many names, as you know, Hermes, Mercury. He's actually the mentor of Ea, and we all know that's Enki. So he was part of the Intergalactic Confederation. Thoth was part of the Intergalactic Confederation. So now let's talk about India. Matias mentioned India. Matias was channeling at the time, and at a plaza where he connected with Satan. Or so he said that he was Satan. And Satan, we all know, is Marduk. Marduk symbol is either a goat or he's a lizard with a forked tongue. Marduk was the son of Enlil, who actually was the most beautiful baby or being, and then with a shiny skin, but then turned to the dark side and became partners with his uncle Enlil, who is a reptile. Enlil is therefore depicted as an eagle. And while I was getting all this information on my TV, a huge image of a program from Gaia showed up, and it had an eagle there, and it said channeling, and it said the bridge. I'll show you the image. And he also represents Horus. So therefore, let's continue here. What else do we have? We were talking about Ea. So Ea is coming back with the original DNA of the ones that Enlil dumped down. And that would be considered the Grail, the bloodline. So that bloodline is, so Jesus is not the one that's coming back. It's actually that bloodline. And once it's activated, it needs the DNA in your blood needs to be activated by frequency. So once we resonate at a higher level, therefore we will be activating the chromosome that we are missing. And here is what I mean. Let's go back here. What Matias is saying that somebody stole, again, it's Enlil who took one of our, we keep saying axis, right? So the axis is this, the code, it's actually code X. The codex means the bloodline. And that's a chromosome. We have 23, so we're missing one. And that goes back to the Anunnakis. But again, Ea, to repair that, he's brought back, I think last year or 2 years ago, the original DNA to the Earth Alliance. So the Earth Alliance has the original DNA, which Enlil dumped down. So what is missing? Even Matias has spoken about it. We've done a video or a post about it. The silicon. So the silicon one is the one we need to activate within. Once that's activated, again, it will be considered the Christic consciousness. So Christ is not the one coming back, but that bloodline is coming back, and it needs to be activated. Once it's activated, then it activates the 24th chromosome, the axis. So Matias keeps talking about the axis. Well, that's the axis that Enki created. That's the bloodline he created. And how does that happen? I will send you the post here, but the post talks about the silicon and sodium. So you have the structure of these are in a crystalline, and they are in a cube form. So if you imagine the atoms all together, silicon and sodium, they have bonding them, ozone and oxygen. So once you spin that, those two, you actually, with the silicon and the sodium that we have within, we spin those, and that will actually activate the 24th that we're missing. So to get out of the artificial 3D, so let's talk about that subject. So what's happening? The matrix. So we've been in this 3D artificial realm, but that was created for us to be actually in a hidden place, so the reptilians wouldn't come and mess with us. So actually the Federation did that, but then they found out, and actually then the reptilians and the noble, they actually see, so to get out of the artificial 3D matrix, what do we have to do? And that was done by the reptilians, the Greys. And that involves the black cube technology. The Greys put a black cube technology over in Saturn and redirected that frequency wave to the moon, and to the moon over to Earth. So there was this triangulation for that to happen. And now, since the Federation has expelled the Greys from this solar system, they have brought down that black cube technology, which was actually in direct, it's a portal, so it was in direct contact with the hive consciousness of the Grey, the hive queen. But not to fear anymore, because it has been dismantled. So that 3D matrix in which we were artificially placed in, the reptilians and the Greys could, manipulate us and keep us in a 3D state, no longer is active. But we can't just pop now into 4D, like today we're here, and the next one that we change if we were to change the frequency drastically, we would definitely have physical damages. So now we gradually have to go back on our own, and that's what's happening at this point. So what do we have here? So the Earth, the moon, the Earth will mirror the moon, which will then, the Earth and moon will be mirrored by the sun's reflection. So what's that mean? So what needs to happen is the Earth consciousness, as Gaia is a being, it has to now expand and connect with the moon. The moon also has a consciousness within itself. Even though it's an artificial spaceship, it has like their technologies. The ships themselves have an AI, which is a whole consciousness with that the being itself is alive, and it has its own being in the center of this moon, which the Federation has found, and they're encapsulated in like in another realm within the spaceship. So it's not like you can just walk into like, oh, here's the consciousness in the middle of the ship. You actually would be crossing over to a different density where they are. It's not just physically there. They're in a different density. Either way, this has to happen through the sun. Always is a portal. Every sun, every star is a portal to other stars. And the star always has its own black hole as well, which is the other polarity of a sun would be the black hole, but that's another topic. Going back, but Gaia, Gaia is what? Yes, Gaia is Earth. Duh. It was there, Gaia, moon. And guess what? What's the next app there? It says it's a mirror. You've ever done, you want to mirror your phone on your TV. It's a mirror app. I mean, that's crazy, right? No coincidence. So I'm telling you, I'm getting all this information. And then the next one was, so as I'm getting this interruption by the TV, you have to restart the TV all over again, and then you see all these ads. And one of the ads was channeling. And channeling what? What Matias was talking about, the bridge. It says the bridge there. And guess what? He was channeling what is known as, Enlil is a symbol, is the eagle. And Marduk, he was talking to Marduk, Shaitan, Satan. And so it will mirror. So the silicon and the sodium, they mirror themselves. And here the Earth and the Moon will be mirroring themselves with the sun reflecting on that. And what it says here, then humans will be able to see ETs. So once we have this connection done, that the expansion of now we have a trinity, right? Because that created the sun, Luna creates the trinity, and my guides are what do they say? The consciousness needs to connect portal, moon, Earth. After that is done, then we'll be able to explore other places like Mars. So that's the first trinity to be formed. I know I said it would be a triangulation with Mars in the past, but my guides were explaining that the portal that needs to happen through needs to incorporate the sun. So with that, what has to be done? The chakras. So we're talking about the spine. Where is the spine? Matias was talking about the spine. The other image as well, it was talking about the roots, right? Exploring your roots. I mean, it was going on and on all this time. I mean, I don't know, it was there for a bit. Writing all this information, kept getting interrupted. And then again, and then all these ads. I'm like, all this information from my own TV coming to me so I can put all the pieces together. It's pretty crazy and fascinating. Okay, let's get now to the scribbles. Excuse me, all my scribbles, but they come so fast and I have to write everything down and then connect everything. Oh, this is this and that. So everything then at the end will make sense when you get all the information. So I'm sorry beforehand if I go like in parts where they don't make sense, but after you hear everything, then you get the whole full information, and then you want to then go back and listen to Matias again. And then with this information, then once you hear him, will make more sense. And I hope I can, fill in some blanks. But again, this is my perspective, and just the information was given to me. He has his own exploration as a electrician to go and find the pieces of the puzzle that are missing as well. So hope we can all here contribute to this scavenger hunt. The spine here, that's the Kundalini. And so basically the spine would be the trunk of the tree. So we need to activate the torus field. The center of that torus field would be the trunk of the tree. And the trunk of the tree means the tree of life. And who gave life to humanity? That's the same E.T. Enki. So basically, he calls him Osiris. Osiris is not a god. Osiris is an ET, an Anunnaki. And it's Enki is the same. Osiris was just what the Egyptians were referring back to the entity that they knew back in Atlantis time. So once that is done, activating the chakras through the spine, which is the tree of life, that's the same thing that needs to be done for the earth to reflect itself with the moon, the consciousness connect through the sun, and then we will be able to move ahead and go then to explore other planets. We will be able to then, humans will then be able to see actually ETs. We will no longer then be on 3D. We then evolve to 4D, 5D. And that's how, because right now, if we see an ET, it's more like a ghost. They're coming through like these little orbs, and that's because they're in a different density than we are. That's why we see those orbs. So the apple, again, the apple is the torus field. Osiris is Enki, who gave life to humans. That's the apple being the torus field being activated, which reminds us that Osiris or Enki, he had the 12 families. So there's this also myth, right, that Egyptians, again, based on these Atlantean ETs, gods, in other words, they were basing their Seth and Osiris tale on, Osiris got cut in pieces. It said 14 pieces, but basically that's referring to the 12 families. Why? Because Enki gave himself to these families, gave his DNA to create his family. So in another sense, it's not physically cutting himself. Each of these parts are his, from his own body, that were spread around the planet. So these families, they first went to the, I forgot the island, and next to Africa. So these families were hidden away. The atoms, the Adamic race. So that's, and then there was one of those that was, he calls it the penis, right? Well, the penis that got lost, eaten by a fish. Fish is actually another symbol for Enki. That was basically just the symbol of the genetic experiments that he was doing. So it has nothing to do with sexuality. He didn't have sex with all these Evas, in a sense, because from Adam, Eva, or the Eves, were created from that from that same DNA line. So it was a matter of doing that in the lab, and then also you can't just do that in the lab because it doesn't work for more than one generation. You need activation of the kundalini of the being for that to actually materialize and anchor into this realm, to this earth, for that being to actually then be activated. So, and Leo was furious when he learned that the beings that Enki found, the humanoids, actually had been activated. And he didn't know either that they actually had already DNA material from other cedar races in them. So Enki decided not to mess with the humanoids that were here. He actually decided to activate them to a higher level, and that's when he spread them around, at least 12 families. That's why they say Enki was cut into pieces, but not literally. It's just pieces of him were distributed around the planet. And then Enlil also created his line of royal line, the 13 families. And those are and have his genetic line of the reptilian line. Again, now we're talking about the hills that I already explained. The hills were kept on, the hills or mounts is where you find the spaceships or the Arks. So Enki and his scientists or his geneticists, a few of them, because there were 7, and one of them was Enki. He was part of the scientists. I'm not sure if he's especially a geneticist, but he was a scientist. There was 7 scientists, and he was the mentor of them all. He was the oldest, the elder of the scientists. And he has been found in an ark in Florida. So Enki, Thoth is considered one of the giants. I will post a video that Elena Danaan has spoken about, and JP, a whistleblower, if you're familiar with him, that Dr. Sala has, shown, accompanied him throughout the years of many of the information he has brought out. And one of those giants has been identified as Ningish Zeta, and he has several names, Thoth, but that was one of the beings found in the Ark, considered the giants. So this is a lot of information. I hope I didn't miss any of my connections here. So the humans will be able to see again, and that's once we are activated, because Enki gave life. He's Osiris. Oh, Una, that's another information that that one's coming from Elena Danaan, because she is in contact with this being called Una from the Intergalactic Federation. And this ET has told her the same thing, that when the dark forces from this planet, which is the cabal, falls, the beings that have a genetic association with the beings in the Arks will be able to actually then activate and help activate those beings in the Arks. And then they will be bringing the technologies that are found in the Arks to these people to spread them then to the general population. So those will be the contacts that will be made through those people. And I believe Matias is on that track. I hope he hopefully he will also hear all the clues that are being given by the people that travel with him, or people like me who get messages and also puts them out. And again, I'm here. I'm just the messenger, and I hope this information will also be of use for your own inner growth. As we have questions and we get some answers, then we will bring out 10 more questions, right? So hopefully this will feed your soul for now. And anything else, please let me know. And here is that information, the codex, DNA. So all other points that he was raising about the CERN having created an issue with the whole universe itself, putting it off track. I'm not really seeing that. I just see that in the universe, everything is as it's supposed to be. What we're having an issue is with the portals. Again, those were the cubes. A soul, when it's created, it's shot down through the portals down to, let's say, to Earth. So now you are in a soul that has incarnated into the planet Earth, and that comes originally from Source. So it comes through all these portals, like a red blood cell travels through all the branches, right? And it reaches, let's say, everywhere in the universe. So at some point, you're stationed everywhere in all densities, and you experience it all. So the soul comes shooting right here to Earth, and there's now, since we have this issue with our 3D being placed on this fake matrix, that's where the issue is. So I'm not sure that that's a whole universe thing. As in the universe, all is perfection, nothing is missing, everything is there for our own experience. As the being called the flower of life, which is the universe, the flower of life is the being, is the universe, and it is geometry perfect in its own. And if it wasn't, we wouldn't be experiencing at least the physical reality that we are experiencing. Lastly, here's the map of Argentina that Matias said it looked like a woman that was pregnant, and the shoe, the feet, that is Tierra del Fuego. All right, I hope you like this, and I'm sending you lots of love.